How you doing, everybody? Hello! What a win for the Red Sox today. You got to love that. Big moment for Triston Casas coming through. He has had all the struggles so far up to this point. Big moment for him. Very glad to see him break through like that. This was definitely an interesting day. It was kind of one of those games where you felt like you were going to let it slip away. You had it firmly in your grasp, and it just felt like, okay, was this a win that looked like a solid W at one point, and now all of a sudden it's just a loss? And that's kind of the way it felt like it was going, the way it was trending. And luckily, they got a couple of breaks, and they made it happen in the end. And Triston Casas able to come through there with his biggest hit of the season so far. So gotta love that. But Garrett Crochet, we'll talk more about him. Pretty solid day for the most part for him. Not what it looked like his last time out when the guy was, flirting with a perfect game at one point, no hitter at one point. But overall, not the same thing, but a pretty solid day for Garrett Crochet. We'll get into that. Bullpen, pretty solid job for the most part. Greg Weissert, pretty tough day for him. We'll get into that whole inning. But, not the perfect day that you were expecting it to be. The yellow jerseys, hey, you know what? I don't know what it is. They just seem to find W's with these jerseys. Even if, they're blowout wins, you just squeak on by. The yellow jerseys, I'm just saying, I feel like they got to be the Saturday home jersey moving forward. Wear them more often. I don't know. They just win in these jerseys. But everybody, before I get more into the post game, I'm going to get to today's sponsor. I'll let the guys over at Foul Territory take over.
If you're looking for premium clothes at an affordable price, you got to check out True Classic. AJ, you're rocking the True Classic shirt right now.
Oh, believe it. Look at this thing. Look at it. Soft. It fits perfect. Even with these guns, not too tight like Scott likes it. Little bit of room to move in there, right? Look, you can wear it under a suit. You can wear it out to dinner with some nice jeans. You can wear it to the gym if that's what your game is. Whatever it takes, this thing fits great, feels great. Great shirt.
The long sleeve Henny for these cold, kind of warm spring days. Perfect.
Yep. Build the perfect outfit in 5 minutes or less. Everything goes great together. Free shipping on all orders. It's designed to bring out your best features with the perfect fit. So, FT fam, whether you're bundling up for the cold or getting ready for spring, level up your style with clothes that actually fit right. Go to our exclusive link, trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today. FT fam, get after it.
Alrighty, go check out True Classic. Like I told you in the last episode, when I went to the Rays Red Sox game the other day, the shirt I was wearing while doing the pregame interviews was a True Classic t-shirt. And no, that's not one that I just picked up recently. That was a shirt I've had for the last couple of years. I'm just saying, I like the True Classic clothes. Go try those out. Go use the code. Take advantage of the deal. So let's get into it here. Really the only moment really worth talking about halfway through the game was the Raffy home run. I'm going to be honest. As soon as it went off the bat, I thought it was a pop-up. And then obviously they panned to that. I'm like, oh, wow, that was an absolute bomb. That just completely took me by surprise. But Raffy, hey, nice to see him coming through with the power there. You get off to a 3-0 lead, and you're thinking at that point, all right, we're good to go. Crochet, probably give it maybe a couple more innings. And, this is a White Sox team that's not really going to be doing anything this year. And, yes, I know they won the last series, but you're thinking, all right, we got this in the bag now. Crochet had the lead last time. We're good. But then you had a rough 7th inning, right? That rough 7th inning, that's where you start to think, all right, we had a nice solid win in our hands today, and now all of a sudden it's slipping away. Greg Weissert coming into the game. Here's the thing with Greg Weissert, man. When he is on, you love the guy, right? You think he's got the nastiest stuff. You can't hit this guy. But when he's off, everything just goes wrong when Greg Weissert is on the mound. But you had an opportunity at a double play. Triston Casas getting the ground ball at first base, stepped on the bag, but ended up making a bad throw over to second base. And I can't believe Trevor Story got charged with the error on that. To me, it was a bad throw from Casas. It pulled Story out towards right field when it should have been on the other side of the bag, would have been a clean throw, and that would have gotten the double play. And again, pulled Story off the bag. You weren't able to get the play done. My drop with the base hit made it 3-1. And then Luis Robert, this guy just loves hitting against the Red Sox. I don't know what it is, but he increased his trade value a little bit more. Big home run over the monster, made it 3-3. And then you go a little further, right? Close game, getting to the end there. 9th inning, you had Narvaez with the base hit. Benintendi throwing it away. That moved Narvaez over to second base. And you're thinking, okay, all right, we're good. Walk-off win here. And then David Hamilton pinch ran for Carlos Narvaez. And then ground ball back to the pitcher. And this is a guy where David Hamilton has a ton of speed. And I think he just got caught up in his own head. And he just misjudged it or whatever it was. But then he gets thrown out of third. And then all the air was just let out. There were a couple of moments here tonight where they were aggressive in spots where I felt like they shouldn't have been with the base running, and not aggressive in certain spots. Like, for instance, Alex Bregman. Go back to, I'm going blank on what inning it was, but Alex Bregman, they had him tried stealing second base to get into scoring position, and I'm thinking, 2 outs, Trevor Story's at the plate, and my first thing is, why are you having Alex Bregman try to steal? This is a guy that has not really stolen a whole lot of bases over the years, and you got one of your hottest hitters at the plate in Trevor Story, where, yes, I know Bregman is trying to get into scoring position, but to me, when you got a guy that hasn't really been a base burner over the years, I mean, to me, that just felt like you were just throwing outs away at that point. And the bat got left on the shoulder of Trevor Story, who had a big game last night, and that ended that. And then there was another moment where, I believe it was the 8th inning, where you had a moment where, Trevor Story gets on, and he's 6 for 6 in stolen bases this year. And he's not trying to steal second base to get into scoring position. Now, I feel like the reason for that was the reliever they had on the mound. He had a pretty quick motion to the plate. So I wonder if Cora didn't really want to take any risks because he just seemed like a hard pitcher to try and get a steal off of. Man, just kind of a weird day when it came to the base running a little bit. Aggressive in certain spots, not aggressive in spots, where I felt like it should have been the opposite. And then David Hamilton getting thrown out at third. Again, was he just moving on any ball in play, or I don't know what happened with that. I'm not sure. But that was just, that was a brutal moment there. And then, hey, you get to the 10th. You have the ghost runner there, Christian Campbell. You got Willie Abreu, got the intentional walk. They love intentionally walking this guy when it comes to crucial moments in the game. My goodness, Willie Abreu, he's basically Barry Bonds at this point. And Christian Campbell working the walk there. We've been talking about guys like Triston Casas mainly, where he's gotten off to a bit of a cold start this year. Christian Campbell, a little cold himself over the last 7 or so games. You can even throw Willie Abreu into that conversation. And good for Campbell. Really working that walk, getting on there. Sets up Casas. Walk-off win. Gotta love that. And again, for Triston Casas, right? You go back to 2023, he had a slow start to the year, right? Everyone mentions the slow start. And that's why with me, I've been telling, all of you watching at home, with Casas, this is a guy that I was even talking to him about it before the Rays game, before the opener. He's been getting a lot of barrels, right? Sweet spot percentage is looking good. A guy that's making pretty good contact when he is making contact. It was just, to me, it felt like a matter of time before he came through. And, was it a walk-off bomb by any means? But no, playing a little wall ball. You got to love that, man. I'm glad he came through with that as a big moment for him. And I think it was a big moment just for him mentally, too. Got to love that for him, man. Got to love that for him. I'm glad he played some pick-me-up here when the Red Sox, they kind of needed that on this day. Now, I have here on the menu the Casas struggles. I do want to be specific about that. I'm talking mainly the defense, right? Now, again, this is a big moment for him getting the walk-off win. Got to love that. But with Triston Casas at this point, the defense, he's got to figure something out defensively here, right? Like I mentioned, making the bad throw, that puts you in a position where, Luis Robert ends up getting the big home run to tie the game. I feel like there's been a few moments this year with Casas where he's bobbled a ground ball, making a bad throw. we got to clean that up a little bit. Defensively, among all first basemen, Triston Casas ranks near the bottom. So we got to see an improvement there with the defense, right? It's not just him. It's been other guys too. But, I'm mainly, when you're looking at how he is struggling with the bat up to this point, minus today, and when you're also struggling defensively, it was probably starting to wear on him a little bit, man. So that's why I'm glad he came through with the big moment today. Gotta love that. So, but overall, just kind of one of those days, right? You're gonna have these wins. They're gonna get sloppy, but I'm really looking for the Red Sox at this point. Yes, big win. Lots of happiness right now. I feel more of a sigh of relief, though, if that makes sense. It's kind of one of those wins today where I didn't want this win to go this way. I really wanted it to just be a clean one today. You get the big bomb from Raffy. I was even thinking, all right, add a couple more runs. I was even hoping Liam Hendricks could have gotten into the game today. At one point, I was saying to myself, I'm like, man, I really don't want Liam Hendricks getting into this game in a close one. But after the Raffy homer, I'm thinking, all right, cool. I'm good with Hendricks maybe coming into the game today. So ended up not working out. But it was kind of one of those where it felt like it was trending one way, and then all of a sudden it just flipped the opposite. But this should be one of those wins where it should have been pretty textbook for the most part. So again, I'm happy. I'm glad they pulled it out. Not every win is going to be, textbook perfect, but against the White Sox team, I get it. Maybe they got some scrappiness on that team, but they're not there yet. And this is a team that's, what's their record now? Like 4-14 at this point. These are, in my opinion, what should be some easy wins. So I'm glad they pulled it out, but I want these wins to start getting a little cleaner, right? Start getting this defense on track a little bit. Clean up the base running a little bit. Start, some of these buttons that are getting pushed. I feel like some of them, some spots they shouldn't be pushed. Some other spots they should be. It's April. This is what April's for, right? Once the weather starts to warm up, I think this team will start to heat up in all aspects of the game. But yeah, glad they got the win. I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm not trying to be negative. It is what it is. Glad for Casas. Big lift off of his shoulders. Thought that was a great moment for him. It's kind of sad that the Raffy home run kind of gets lost in the shuffle today. Hey, Raffy, man. But Garrett Crochet, let's kind of wrap it up with him. I kind of want to just I completely forgot to even get into that. Taking a look at Garrett Crochet's performance here today. Like I said, in the intro, with Crochet, it wasn't that, sort of going after a no-hitter performance like it was last time. It just seemed like he lacked the command a little bit today. Not completely, but not as crisp as he was last time out. Leading with the fastball today. He got a lot of swing and miss today, man. A lot of whiffs. Overall, 44 swings, 17 whiffs on the day. A 39% whiff percentage. That's pretty good. That's Garrett Crochet, man. This guy's nasty. But it just kind of seemed like at times, he was yelling at himself today. He was walking off the mound at some points today, not happy with himself. But that's what you love to see out of your ace, man. I love that bulldog mentality that he has. Even when he's still pitching a pretty good game overall, he's still walking off the mound, just ticked off at himself, Love that. But four-seamer today, going with the cutters, the sinkers, working in some sweepers as well. It was a good day for Garrett Crochet. He did see some good spin rate on the cutter for today. Fastball had some good life to it. But again, it just kind of felt like he was up and down with the command. If you go back to that first inning he had, it was an 8-pitch first inning. You're thinking, all right, here we go. He's going after another no-hitter today. And, so that's baseball, right? That's life. Things can just change just like that. But overall, a good day for Garrett Crochet. 6 innings, 4 hits, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 96 pitches overall. Moving on here. Let's go to the preview for tomorrow's game. And we got Tanner Houck on the mound tomorrow. Hey, big start for Tanner Houck tomorrow. As we all remember, and we want to erase from our memory, the absolutely terrible start from Tanner Houck his last time out. Currently has a 9.16 ERA. I mean, my goodness, he was getting shellacked his last time out against the Rays. I'm still going to stick to this. I think the Rays had something on him in the last start because he looked so good against the Blue Jays. He was in complete control, and the Rays get like 58 hits off of him. What was it, 12 earned runs, 11 earned runs, whatever it may be, 10 plus, we'll just leave it at that. To me, when you go from a start like that with the Blue Jays to a start like that with the Rays, I'm sorry. I personally think they had a little something on him, whether that was some pitch tipping a little bit. There were a couple of people that were getting on to me like, no, Robbie, he wasn't pitch tipping. I showed a little side-by-side where one picture on the left, I believe he was throwing his sweeper, and then on the picture on the right, I believe he was throwing his sinker. He had a bit of a difference when it came to his motion. And then I had a couple of people responding in that saying, oh, Robbie, no, he wasn't pitch tipping. It's like, I mean, how often, and then also, I can't remember who commented that, but in that comment said, no, Robbie, he's not pitch tipping. He's been not great ever since last year. I'm sorry. I don't remember one start last year where the guy gave up like 50 runs. I mean, yes, he wasn't as crisp as he was in the first half last year compared to his second half last year, but he wasn't getting annihilated like he was against the Rays. If there was anything going on there, I am sure Andrew Bailey has and Houck have worked on it this past week. Who knows if there was anything? Maybe the Rays, they were just locked in that day and they just had the scouting report perfected and they just had the perfect game plan. Again, I personally think they saw something that we didn't see because it's not very often you get 10 plus runs off a guy and that many hits off of a guy when, he looked pretty solid his last time out. That's just my opinion. Whatever it is, hopefully we see a better start from Houck tomorrow. We got Burke for the White Sox tomorrow. I mean, he's not really off to a great start either. We'll see how this goes. The Red Sox, they do have some experience against the White Sox have some experience against Houck. Luis Robert, he's got 10 ABs against him. Hasn't really seen him well in his career. Andrew Vaughn does have a home run against Houck in his career, so be on the lookout there. But there is no experience against Burke, so let's see what ends up happening there. But he is not off to a great start tomorrow, so we will see. Now, when it comes to the lineup for tomorrow with the Red Sox, I mean, hey, it worked out today. One thing with Casas is he did bat 7th today. I saw that. I'm like, oh, he's batting 7th. That's interesting. So I wonder where he's going to be in the lineup tomorrow after, the big hit today. I feel like you probably keep it the same. We'll see. But everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. We'll be back here tomorrow. Everybody, it is WrestleMania weekend. I'm going to be honest with you. I got to get out of here. We got to go put the wrestling on. It is night 1 of WrestleMania. If you don't know, I've been a pretty big wrestling fan my entire life. So I'm not going to be missing WrestleMania. I've already missed a little bit here. I think it started at 7 o'clock. So I got to get going here. But everybody, if you can on the way out, leave a like for me. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment after the stream is over. Go give me your thoughts here on today's game. Give me your thoughts on the walk-off today. Give me your thoughts for Game 3 tomorrow. That's really going to help out with the algorithm as well. Let's start pushing these out more for the replay viewers. I would love to see the views start getting a bit of a boost here on the stream. So, everyone, I'm out of here. Go enjoy the rest of your night. We'll be back here tomorrow. I believe tomorrow, what time is the game on tomorrow? 1:35. So we'll be here probably around 4:30 tomorrow. So have your notifications set. Until then, everybody, have yourself a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.